Next one. I love your work and I would like to know how I can become part of your 20 to 50 year long-term plan. You mentioned that about creating compassionate and effective leaders for years to come. Can you talk about that aspect more? Okay, so yes, absolutely I can, and thank you for asking this question. My 20 to 50 year plan is basically based on what I believe is the humanity's capacity to change and to evolve in that. Now, it might turn out to be a 10-year plan, it might turn out to be a 100-year plan. We don't really know until we see some actualization in compassionate and effective leadership in the world. What's the reason why it's important to me that we're actualizing this compassionate and effective leadership in the world is because we have a lot of leaders who are either effective or compassionate, and they tend to bring us to one end of the stick or the other, and we have this constant pull one way or another. Like if you look at even just the political situation in the US, you could say that one party, if you just have two parties, one party is all about effectiveness and what works and what's practical, and the other party is all about making sure that everybody is looked after and that there's compassion in the world and people before profits and all this kind of thing. So we're looking at this kind of constant fluctuation where different parties are in power for different amounts of time. And if you look back at it, like even the US political system or any other political system that, in your own country, you'll probably see versions of this coming up. And you'll probably see that in the 70s, 60s, around 50s, 60s, and 70s, there were probably some leaders who had both compassion and effectiveness. And they were the leaders beloved by all people. Now, I'm not saying in every country, obviously, because there's different fluctuations in different societies and so on. But I'm just using US and most of the Western world, stable Western world as an example of this. So there was a lot more trust. There was a lot more compassion. There was a lot more care. There was a lot more all kinds of things that leaders were able to bring to the table, and which created like a solid foundation of community in these countries. Now, we are not in that space right now. We're in a very, like a massive turmoil, trying to find which is better. Is effectiveness better? Is compassion better? Which is more important? And of course, the answer to that is neither is more important, because they're both important. If you want to serve as a leader, all the people who are rational, thinking people, as well as all the incredibly compassionate, feeling people, you need to make sure that you yourself, because we're all leaders, you're a leader of yourself, even if you don't lead other people, that you yourself make sure that your thinking and feeling decisions are balanced, that you're not, fluctuating from one to the other, to the other, to the other. And a perfect example of this on a personal level is that one of your grown-up parts is a decision maker, and one of your inner child part is a decision maker. And so either your grown-up part is a thinker, and your inner child part is a feeler, or the other way around, which means that when that part of you is activated, you make thinking or feeling decisions based on whichever part is activated. So what we want to do is we want to bring those parts together so that you make more wholesome decisions. And so what we're building on a 20 to 50 year plan is this 4 people within approach, which teaches you how to make good decisions. So if you're a leader of just yourself, you're going to become more effective and more compassionate towards other people. If you're a leader of other people, then that's going to happen in that space as well. So when I talk about the 20 to 50 year plan to create more compassionate and effective leaders, that comes through both your personal work and your leadership work as a leader of others. Whether you want to become an integration mentor who physiologically themselves helps their clients get better at making better decisions, or whether it's that you just want to be a part of this movement and do what you can to create awareness and tell people about this work that you're doing. So you were asking how I would like to know how we can become a part of your 20 to 50 year plan. Easy. Email me and tell me one of two things. Do you want to focus on your own work, your own personal development work, or do you want to focus on becoming a mentor or becoming a leader in your community? And then we'll have a conversation with you, and then we'll take it from there. So this is real. For those of you who don't know us very well, instead of today's or tomorrow's profits, we're concerned, we're worried about, we're focusing on creating this leadership for the future. And we understand that means then that we have to have these conversations on a one-to-one basis to start with. When we can't do it on a one-to-one basis, then do it on a group and so on. Right now, as I'm recording this video, we're able to still do this on a one-to-one basis. So by all means, email us and tell us what you want to work on, and then we'll help you decide what your next action steps might be. You are different. Every person is different, and every person has different things to contribute to wherever they are, whatever they're wanting to do. So until we actually know a bit more about you, I won't be able to tell you how you can be a part of it, but we're happy to have that conversation, of course. So having that compassion and having the effectiveness in the leadership, I believe will have the power to bring us humans, the human species, as a to come together and go towards new innovation, as well as preservation of the species. So that's what I would kind of see with that 20 to 50 year plan. All right, so I hope that answers that question. If you have any more questions, please comment down below or send us an email at test@meriasumilov.com. Happy to have that conversation with you. It's really exciting that there are people now asking this question out there. What can I do? What can I do? There's loads you can do. We just need to know what you're already really good at and what you need to grow into.